All through history, the philosophers, Dante and Amanius and Socrates, they call themselves world citizens. So it's not a new idea, it's one of the oldest ideas. It's not revolutionary at all. But this is the only age, and we're the privileged ones, who will decide whether the human race will go on or not. Whether all those guys in the past, all those prophets and seers and philosophers and poets and so forth were justified. We decide, we here, in this day, in this age, and it's very, very short, decide whether the human race will continue and whether all the new, the future people will be born. It's an immense challenge. And it requires intelligence and guts, courage and commitment and so forth. But the tools are there. When you talk about sovereignty, the United States is a good example of sovereignty because I told Mr. Bush, I wrote him a letter, I said, the first three, you're not sovereign, Mr. Bush. The people are sovereign. The Constitution is the first three words say, we the people. And nobody knows very few people have read the Ninth Amendment or even the Bill of Rights in the United States. Very few people have read constitutions at all. But most of the state constitutions say that this Constitution derives from the people. Well, we are the people, and we have to exercise our sovereignty. Okay, to make a long story short, my claim to be a world citizen developed, well, the French government, first of all, tried to kick me out, and I'll give you another 9/11. On September 11th, 1948, I went to the United Nations General Assembly meeting, which was in Paris. The only time the General Assembly was out of New York was in 1948. And they came to Paris, and they set up their little enclave at the Palais de Chaillot, and they declared that piece of France international territory. And that was the same day that the French government said, get out. So I take my little pack on my back, take the subway to the Trocadero. My only problem was, where am I going to go to the bathroom? No, seriously, because I knew that once I got on that territory, I couldn't get off. And I got up out of the subway, and there, happily, I see they had built a little restaurant on the park. Oh, thank God I'm saved. Anyway, I went to the UN. I had made a statement. I had made a statement the night before. I sent it around to the press, and I told the UN General Assembly, which was not in session at the time, just the Secretary General was there. I said, I'm your first citizen. And the UN said, wait a minute, something's wrong here. We don't have citizens. We only have states. I said, yeah, but I'm your first citizen because I'm a world citizen, and this is international territory. So it was kind of like I don't know what you call it, a meta moment, where some human being populated a territory which had been declared by the nations as international. So it was like I went up, and I was populating that vacuum up there. And that went around the world. I was the only story for about 7 days. 7,000 journalists were on my back. I became world famous in 7 days. Not because of me, but because of the moment. The moment was right, the words were right, and the commitment was right, and so forth. And it was like a show, show business all over again. It was a stage I was on, etc. That developed into, we registered 750,000 people practically overnight. We set up the International Registry of World Citizens. We started issuing documents based upon world citizenship. In fact, I don't know, you've seen this passport. This passport is one of the most important key documents in the world because it represents one world, no frontiers, freedom of travel, and humanity. And I have traveled with this document to India. I've traveled back from India with the first one, which was really Mickey Mouse, number 000001. Try that someday. And we now have a world government which has its office in Washington, D.C., and we have an office in Shanghai with a staff. And we are developing very fast. We issue documents. We have an agency called the World Service Authority, which issues these passports. I have so much material out here. I mean, I have 58 years of material here, and he's only giving me 20 minutes on this stand. Well, anyway, thanks very much. I'll talk to you later.
That's incredible. What a pioneer for all of us.